you know, the green flags are going to come out and that change is coming in, and they're going to fundamentally alter the way that rockets exist. So if you introduce sap rockets and you can't hit destroyers, because if a destroyer has the, you know, wherewithal to notice, hey, there's rocket planes over there, and just even like attempts to give a shit, they're not going to get hit by rockets, or they'll be hit by very few. Well, what are your sap rockets going to do? Are your sap rockets designed for cruisers then? Do you have like Tiny Tims but a sap version where it's just it's got a really nasty hit to it? I don't know. There's a lot of game design is interesting because you literally create the world. You can create it, reshape it, alter it to anything you want it to be, just like in the movie Inception. You know, you are the thing that carves out new sections of reality as you put it into the game and see if it works with the rest of everything that's there. So it's possible they come up with cool shit. I think support CVs would probably be the most interesting, with some kind of consumable based gameplay with like hydro buoys or maybe a smoke drop. A lot of CV players for whatever reason seem to say that they would like rocket planes, but have them have like a machine gun function so that you can interact with enemy planes, like you actually fly over and you shoot them. But the question is, if you have something like that, how would you have to have the machine gun planes work? Like, do they die after you use them? Because if your machine gun planes kill enemy planes for free, then you just run around killing all the enemy planes because they can't kill you. So you just totally shut down an enemy CV and GG, motherfucker. So realistically, it's like for every plane they kill, you'd probably have to lose a rocket or a machine gun plane. But I mean, that's a thing they could do. That would be new. That would be interesting. If you had some kind of heal consumable drop that you could do. I mean, there's possibilities out there. They just have to sit down, come up with them, test them, and figure out what the hell works. So this is not a position that's going to work out for the Viserys dude. Also, I think he could turn his AA on and off, because I think we've gone outside of his detection a time or two. I believe his detection's like 2.7. Could be wrong on that. So like right now he could be dark. How many planes has he killed? He's killed 1.5. So if he just didn't use his AA, I'm not saying it would have been the difference between life or death, but it would have given us a little less information. And if rendering delay cloaks your ship, rendering delay is needed before your ship comes back up. So it does actually have that pop in, pop out effect, assuming it's 2.7. I don't remember what Viserys' aerial detection is. Also, the fact that he doesn't have a smoke and the fact that he ran across us pretty much means, bruh, I'm gonna be up your ass sideways. You probably don't want to be out here just waiting to get shot a lot. So he threw a lot of health away there. After taking 7,000 damage, he realized he was able to turn. That is true. New skill unlocked.
Fighter airborne.
But to see Destroyer play like this, that I'm able to pounce on, I mean, it's unfortunate. T61 has Hydro. We can help with this. It's unfortunate, and I hope that, you know, if somebody knows him or something, hey, keep the replay. We'll check it out on stream, that kind of gig. Because I'm sure we could play this differently.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Thank you very much. Can we drop a fighter? No, don't have time. Alright, so the Viserys is bullied off, so these guys are pushing forward. We had a DD over here, so they immediately just won that flank because had DD versus no DD. It's contentious in the center, and I think actually Ryujo gets his ass kicked here. Because he's not in smoke, he's going to be lit by a CV, and he's going to be shot by, I think, 5 different ships. So our destroyer is dead. Kotovsky goes down, though. It's kind of cool. You're already lit, you need to use your AA. You've got a fighter literally parked on top of you, so there's no going dark.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
There you go. When he drops, he's still available.
Fighter airborne.
Yeah, shells, 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 shells. Dead. Unfortunate. Oh, we're gonna lose some stuff here. I think he's slowing down. Go back in on the Shira.
Requesting support.
Only the one. He pulled forward. Or did he? He might have kept reversing. DD's running AA is just silly for a craft meant to be stealthy? No. I mean, it's got its place. But there are ways that you can use it in order to juggle. Which the Viserys didn't necessarily do. But the way that I try to teach how AA works, because there are a lot of people that don't quite seem to understand it, is AA kills an amount of planes per attack on your ship. It could be that you kill half a plane per attack on the ship. Could be that you kill 2 planes or 3 planes or 5 planes. I mean, it just depends on what the AA is. And when you start to stack ships together, they start to amplify each other. You know, if this ship kills 1 plane and the other ship kills 1 plane, well then combined they kill 2. It's just math. I can't bomb the York open water. Ooh, this is super... That's kind of sus. And these guys are bogged down because they don't have a DD to lead them. So, like, if you've got a destroyer that you kill half a plane with your AA, okay. What does that mean? Well, if you need to kill 1.5 planes to prevent, you know, a second strike, or sorry, 2 planes to prevent a second strike, then if you provide half a ship worth of AA, then if you want to prevent a second strike, you need another 1.5 planes worth of AA, which is doable. It might be 1 other ship, it might be 2 other ships. It depends on what's going on. But like right here, these guys are able to support each other. We don't really have ways in on this. Lost the Kotovsky. Can I go for this? Really nice if I could. We lost a lot of planes for that. But he is down, which is important. We might be able to bomb the Kavor.
Requesting assistance.
This is a Viserys who would have been able to heal, so he's probably up to like here. Yeah, so he did heal up, but he's got guns. Hopefully these guys don't eat all the torps in the world and get murdered. Don't die! He got oofed, but he's still alive. And the Viserys is so close, there's no way he goes dark. Is this Shira? If we get 2 citadels, this is a kill. Sadness.
Our team has taken the lead.
Really bad, but would like to learn? Oh, USN usually. I guess somebody else's. What did Exert ask? Hey partner, what tier 6 CV would you recommend for learning? Yeah, the US line in general is what I would recommend for the learning tier. It's got the best feedback loop. It has good penetration on its HE rockets and HE bombs. So all you have to do is focus on hitting something. You don't have to focus on how you hit it. You just have to focus on hitting it. Which means that while you're learning, you're going to have a better experience than if you have to like somehow pull, you know, magic tricks out of your ass to be able to actually hit it in the correct way. Which is pretty significant. Fighter... Well, he is shooting at the fighter. Maybe we can help with the Viserys? He goes down. Kavor bailed. That sucks. Well, this flank didn't need to get owned. But I guess we spent all this time dicking with this, so that's unfortunate. Maybe the Viserys will light himself again. Looks like he's got almost no health. Probably slunk around behind the island. Is this Shira? I have to assume he ran back to his friends. He did. Try to catch the line. That should be a good line. Might be a kill. It is.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Nuremberg has more health than I'm going to be able to deal with. These guys need to come over and sweep into. What the fuck happened here? Kavor got owned. Okay. You're curious of my opinion on ships and CV level tiers that have no effective AA. While it might be historically accurate, do you think wargaming should reevaluate? Well, if you think of things in a 1v1, what is the detection on a battleship versus the detection on a DD? Is the battleship ever going to be able to detect the DD outside of running it down against like basically a map edge? Well, the answer is probably no. So in a 1v1, if the battleship can never detect a destroyer, how does the battleship deal with the destroyer? Well, battleship can't run RPF. Battleship might not have any detection consumables like radar or hydro or whatever. So he just kind of deals with the shit for as long as he can until he dies, because he has no rules to dictate the engagement. But it's a team game. You have other people that have the ability to spot the destroyer for you through radar, another destroyer which can run down and force an interaction. And because of the additional things that you have your strengths and your weaknesses. Other teammates fill those weaknesses with their strengths, and you work together as a team to make a greater whole. That's the goal. That's the dream, making the dream work. So if you're fighting against something that's tier 3 or tier 4 and it has either no or terribly shit-tastic AA, well, know that it's a weakness and try to incorporate something that's going to allow you to use the strength of someone else to keep yourself safe, or at least allow you to perform your function. So for instance, the Summers has terrible AA. Miserably terrible tastic god-awful AA, and it's like tier 10. But it can still do what it needs to do, because it can still attack things, it can still torp things, it's got a lot of range. It might not be able to go off completely independent and do whatever the fuck it wants to do. Not to say that it can't. It could, but if it gets caught, you know, somebody's like, hey, I've got RPF, there's a DD out here, or a bunch of torps show up and they're like, hey, CV, I bet the Summers is out there. Well, he might get caught with his pants down and get wrecked for it. But that's going to be a player choice. It's just like a battleship can't take wide angles that the battleship might want if there's an enemy destroyer in the area, or eventually an enemy sub in the area, because it's going to put himself at an undue risk that's just frankly not worth dealing with. So you play safer. You pick a position where you've got some semblance of support against the destroyer that might fuck you over. Again, same thing with AA. You don't have to be on top of somebody, but you just need to be in a position that's relevant to maybe the attack angle that the CV might use, or some form of overlapping AA can be useful as well. Torps maybe for the Piotr. Thanks for your comment. Sure. So for those that are new to the channel or don't watch a lot, I do offer to do anti-CV tactic replays for free. So if you're in a surface ship and you get dunked, like for instance, the Viserys had a really shit-tastic experience. He ran over to be a good little soldier and grab D, and well, suddenly there were rocket planes up his ass, and most of his ship got ripped apart, you know, before live studio audience, which is rough. If he wanted to submit the replay, we're gonna look at what he did. What's one thing he could have done? Instead of going full speed to A, could have gone half speed. If he was back here when I came over, dropped my little fighter and fucked off, I wouldn't have caught him, which means I wouldn't have shot him, which means I wouldn't have had that interaction. Now, if he kept moving forward and then shot at the fighter, I would know he was there and I might be able to go back after. But we wouldn't have had that initial interaction. Secondly, does he go to A? If nobody else is going to A, should he go to A? Because if he doesn't have enough AA to fight me off, even though he's a European DD, I mean, what is he going to expect to happen if I suddenly call his bluff? I mean, you can act like you've got, you know, you can act like you have a royal flush. You've got the best cards in the business in the poker game, but if somebody calls you on it and it turns out you don't have jack shit, well, that's going to be a real unpleasant reckoning, which is exactly what happened.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
I think we could probably Citadel the Piotr.
Mode enabled.
But if you're in a situation where, you know, the lack of CV ability or AA ability or something, you're just like, fuck, I just don't know what I could have done. I can't tell you the magic button to push or whatever, but one thing I'm not going to tell you to do is you need to hide at the back of the map, buried in a big group of your team. You don't get to have fun this game. I'm not going to tell you that because it's bullshit. We're in a CV game. There were folks that pushed over here. There were folks that pushed out there. All sorts of shit happened. We got 6 kills mostly because we shot low health targets with rockets. So it's not like, you know, we went around dumpstering everybody. We have 70,000 damage. But I think his AA ends at 5.8. So it's not about, you know, you need to just go hide somewhere and shit yourself. Because that's just legit. It's not what it is. But you do need to recognize what your options are and how to use them. It's important.